All right, Cancer. So, you are not looking for comfortability, and life is kind of just pulling you towards that. Letting go in order to bring in something different. Maybe letting go of being so determined or defensive about what you've committed to and what you can now easily change this month. Externally, because it doesn't look like an easily internal change, but it's not about you needing to prove yourself or protect yourself. No, this is just based off of the commitment you made. And there are things where you're easily able to just change, but this one, in a way, devastates you. It's not something easy. And if it's someone, again, if this is a relationship that's changing, it's because you are being asked to commit to yourself in a way which is excluding other people right now. And that can feel hard. That can feel uncomfortable. And you may want to do something or make yourself known in a way that only helps if you aren't doing this out of resentment. This has to be literally whatever you do or say has to go along with this opening that's coming your way. You may free yourself intentionally or unintentionally this month, but just to know that the choice and that power is in your hands. The only thing that's not is this rebirth that you're going through. It's just how you enter it. It's how you enter what is happening, because you have said things that, and you may want to say things and speak up about what it is that you have been holding back, or you have been holding on to, or you have been protecting yourself about. And it could feel like you want to take a whole new direction with that. You may even want to, break contracts this month, and I would recommend waiting till towards the 14th, because all these build up to emotions isn't making most people think very straight. Clarity is coming through, but it could be in moments where you really didn't think that that's what was going to happen, and it did, and it was said, and here you are, right? So being able to know yourself enough to know that whatever you say or whatever you're doing right now is what's bringing, and whatever I think this plays along with the full moon Aries, what you're letting go of is it's not the catalyst to the next place. It's letting go of and being okay with breaking something in order to, even if you don't know what it is yet, but in order to knowing that that's what you need to let go of in order to have more openness, more time in your life. And I love this. I love the connection to the body that human design makes, but also a lot of other people make, is the ability to notice if you feel just exhausted when you do something, if it doesn't light you up anymore. And if you know a Cancer, it could light you up at any time. You're not all day creatures. It could keep you up all night. Mars will enter Scorpio on the 12th. My birthday, hey. And Mercury will then enter Scorpio on the 22nd. So if you have in between the 12th and the 22nd, and during this time, you may recognize where you've given into the power of being stuck for too long in a certain place. You realize that you may want to make more money or want to have more control over your time. And this season brings you there as long as you don't create unnecessary power dynamics, because it looks like you could have one with a Leo. I was just going to say a Leo and look what came out. It looks like there could be a Leo in your life. But to know that as Venus, it's so how about this timeline that we talked about in the beginning, where we have, I'm going to put these down here a little bit further, where you have Venus then moving into Virgo. So it's just very astrological. Your reading's very astrological. in timeline, in order. That's what I mean, astrologically in order. Which is maybe the clarity you've needed. You kind of need something that's not so all over like you just need to be brought back down to earth, perhaps. And Venus moves into Virgo on the 8th. So between the 4th and the 8th, you'll find that there is, the 4th, yeah, and then the 4th through the 22nd, the whole Libra season will be exposing you to the parts of yourself where financially and romantically you have changed. You've changed what you've wanted or desired, and that, it has changed, but you're also choosing that, because that's what helps you move through this all, is to allow yourself to see this clearly and not as something that's negative. And again, that attachment that we talked about in the beginning is about you being unattached to what you used to be like and being more attached to what you are like, because it gives you a sense of freedom and this clear vision of what your traditions look like, what your foundation looks like, especially in terms of how you relate to others, how you relate to your job, how you relate to money, how you relate to the way you make money in the world, what companies you choose to give to. All this stuff is being brought up, even down to the taste that you have. And it's showing you the sun and the moon here, right? The solar eclipse to the lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 28th, when we get into Scorpio season. This is when you can actually, it won't be until Scorpio season, unfortunately, that constructive change will be made. But you'll also be in the middle of this overexposed moment of yourself. And maybe where you were in maybe a relationship with a Leo or a Virgo, but Pisces is also up here too. So I think the Pisces is revealing to you what you may not realize is what you as well do. So maybe it's integration of ego and shadow. Your ego, maybe this person, because of Virgos and Leos, we know how what their magnetic qualities are. Their ability to just talk to anyone, to be either one, loudly come in, or kind of skate themselves in, but then work their way around the party, and just being able to captivate so many, or that one person, that important person, or that they find important, whatever. So you're getting this very extreme version of one thing after the other, but it's because there's something moving through, because the emotional part has happened. Now it's moving through your brain and your habits. This is a great time to bring up habits, whether they change completely or not. It's just showing you what your impact and your direction is in life, right? So this could be how your heart opens even more, right? You could even experience that this power that you have been feeling helps you even see, like, maybe your sex drive comes back if it has not been healthy, or maybe you've been looking into kidneys and your ovaries, and speaking up and out, even if it's just this conversation with the divine and this asking for help. You may be asking for help physically as well, but things start to move in a more aligned direction within your body. And it's through looking at these parts of yourself where so it's moving through your head. So it's moving through your head and your heart. And thus we have Virgo. And so this movement, this connection coming together, is building you back up in a way where you feel like you can stand up even straighter. You may feel very sure of what is happening, and you may have realized what this particular relationship was for you or is for you right now, and what, if you don't show or reveal these parts of yourself to this person that you find yourself intimate with, and maybe there's a couple people involved, you won't feel like yourself. You won't feel like you're being honest about maybe what your future looks like, especially if you're valuing that part of yourself. And leave it to Libra season to make us really want to be honest. It becomes easier, but the feelings, they get deeper in Scorpio season, but that's where you can both learn a lot about the magic within you. You may even find that you're glowing differently by the end of the month, and people are telling you that, even though you're feeling kind of like, well, I don't feel that way, but you are, which is beautiful. And we're going to sum it all up here, clarify it all here. It's important not to doubt your ability to hold on to what has been shown to you as something you should want over and over again. But with all of us, there's always equally an equation of drawing that to you to reinforce that. So in order to change that behavior or not be passive to whoever or whatever way of life that you're now leaving, it's caused you to not see clearly enough. And now you're taking this approach of like, I'm doing what I want. I realize that I maybe even hold on to the harvest, right? Maybe I overly indulge where it seems like, where it could appear to be almost like a weird quirk, or like just something about you that it just becomes very apparent. It becomes very clear. It could be a Taurus in your life who brings this to your attention, that through this even obligation, you realize that there's more here to be explored, but it's held you down for quite a few years. And it could be this Taurus as well, this lunar eclipse by the end of the month, that is changing your state very quickly to, well, if I don't learn to now the next level of unattachment very quickly, see things are like just like an extreme course, then I'm never gonna move. Well, don't be afraid not to move. Just take stock but also don't be afraid to give a little more of yourself. Remember being seen. Well, now you have a choice. And you have more equipment, emotional equipment. And you realize it's not too late. It's never too late to connect with the people that you care about, to have real connections that you've just maybe been opting out of. The way the hands are all set up in this, you realize that this pattern in your mind has affected also your money, and then that all goes hand to hand as well. We're just gonna end there. This month is a big timeline assessment. Integration will come, but for now, it's about rolling with it. Feeling the new direction. I'll see you next month.